Welcome back to Learning the Lyre Harp. Today we are going to be talking about the Dorian mode. Now, much like in the Ionian mode, the process that we're going to go through are pretty much identical. We're just going to be starting on the note D. D now becomes a root note or a tonic note. You can see on the diagram the root picture now goes under D because that's our main note. It's going to be our home base. So the notes becomes D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and back to D, and that's our whole. That's the whole scale. Now I'm gonna play the Ionian in this key of C, and I'm just gonna be quiet, and I just want you to have a listen at the difference, because there's gonna be a difference in the tonal qualities of this new scale that we're looking at, because we've changed the notes ever so slightly. Now starting with C for Ionian, and just have a listen and see if you can pick out the difference. And now the Dorian mode. Now, because we started on a different note, immediately you can see that the Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do is not as we are more familiar with. We're always familiar with the Ionian or the root note of the scales, whether major or minor. But when we start on a different note, it takes on a different character. Now, the Dorian mode is said to be a bit sad because it starts on a minor note, which is D. So it takes on that characteristic, that whole note takes on the minor characteristics. But because of its relation to C, it's just right beside C, there's a hopefulness about it and a bit of a security, because it's not so far away from the major note of the scale. Is just next door to it. So a lot of the times for healthcare practitioners, certified healthcare music practitioners, they would probably use the Dorian quite a bit because it gives that hopefulness tune to it. It's sad but hopeful. It also depicts bravery and courage, which is what we normally need when we're trying to encourage people, say if they're not feeling well, or if they're going through something that's a bit rough. That point of start being in a minor, but allowing that hopeful, that encouragement to come out. That is why the Dorian mode is used a lot in those practices. And I'm not a practitioner, so I can't give you 100% guarantee that everyone would be using this, but I know from talking to people and from being engaged in that community and watching it for a bit, because I would like to be one day. That's kind of one of my hope. I know that they play a lot in the Dorian mode, and so it's a good mode for that, like I said, because it gives you that encouragement, that courageous feeling, that's a bit of security, hopefulness, but relating to how the people is feeling, which could be a little bit sad or a little bit down. So that's what the Dorian mode is. Again, you will see on the diagram here, I have the notes in the major scale, and you will see that I moved the red circle on the D minor because that is now our tonic chord. That's now our one chord, and the fourth chord will be G. The fifth chord will be A, and B diminished is now our sixth chord. So when we're playing and we're improvising, these notes are one of I'm highlighting these notes, these notes and these chords because this would be the most used when you're playing in this mode. Again, for the pentatonic, we'll start with D, and for the pentatonic, we play the first three notes, we skip a note, and then we play the next two notes after that. So in this case, it's D, E, F, we skip the G, we play the A, and we play the B. Those are our pentatonic notes. And this will come in handy because same thing with the Ionian. If you haven't watched that, it's a little bit longer than this video. But please do watch it because that gives you a lot more instruction to what we're going to be doing for the rest of the modes. So I'm going to start doing some improvisation pretty soon. Let me just change to the next slide. So you could see the chord progressions that I'm going to be using, the notes that are included in this chord progressions, as well as their inversions, which it comes in very handy because these notes will kind of guide us on our playing, because DFA is the root note and then FAD is the first inversion, ADF is the second inversion, and you can mix and match those when you're playing these chord progressions. Mix and matching your chord progressions allows for a bit more variation, so that it doesn't become so boring, because if you're playing just DFA constantly over and over again, it becomes very repetitive. I'm sorry, my little dog started barking. I think he's done. So we're gonna go D, F, A, D, F, A, and if I wanted to, I could go F, A, D, and even go to my lower notes because I have a bottom F here. Okay, and I'm going to be doing the first progression, which is the 1 and 5 chord. So on this one, it would be the D major, the D minor chord, and the A minor chord that I'm going to be using, and I'm just going to be playing around with it. I might play maybe 2 or 3 bars of the D minor, and then maybe I will play another 2 or 3 bars of the A minor in the progressions that I would like. I'm gonna keep it very simple, and you can follow along with me. I'm going to say the notes that I'm using just for this instance, so you can follow along. Again, I'm going to start with D, so my finger will be on D. Okay. It's hard to show my lyre. I don't even think you can see it, but I'll call out the notes so you can play along with me, and I'm gonna go very slowly so it's easy to follow. 1, 2, 3, D, F, A, again D, F, A, F, A, D, and I'm gonna go to A minor now, so I'm gonna go A, C, E, again A, C, E, and one more time A, C, E. And if you wanted to, you can even play those in a different order. So instead of playing DFA, maybe I'll go D, A, F, D, A, F, A minor, A, E, E, C. I might want to play the next one down below just for a bit of a variety. A, E, C, A, C, E, D, F, A, F, A, D, and back to A, C, E, and I'm gonna go this one. I'm gonna do the second inversion of D minor. I'm gonna go A, D, F, F, A, D, and then down D, F, A. So as you can see, all I did was play around with the chords in its different inversions just for variation, and I was able to improvise and play a song, create my own tune. Now if you wanted to add a bit of variety to those, you can start incorporating, just like we did on the Aeonian mode, the pentatonic notes of that scale. For example, if I'm gonna go D, D, F, A, instead of just going D, F, A, I might add the D, E. I'm gonna add E to that. So D, E, F, A. I'm gonna do it one more time so you can hear the sound. And I'm gonna use the next inversion, the first version, F, A, D. And if I wanted to, I can pick up the B, because that's part of the pentatonic, and this is how it will sound. I can play that going down. And then I'm gonna go back to my safe spot, which is the root chord. And then I just roll that chord. So again, you can feel free to use the chord progressions and play around with it that I provided you. There's other chord progressions out there. These are just the most common one and the most basic one, and it's the good place to start and play around with the chord inversions that is showing here. And for added variety, always safe to add any of the pentatonic notes to any of these chords. So I hope you enjoy this little bit of a tutorial, and I'll see you next for the next mode. Happy playing!